Hi everyone, good evening. So today we are going to discuss on the field types. So do you able to see my screen?
Yes, Harish.
Oh. So in the last class we have seen how to create a custom entity and how to create relationships and what are the forms we will get by default. And in the forms whenever we are using and what we will be doing. Okay. Now today we will be seeing the data types available for CRM. So whenever we are storing any information in a tabular format, so to maintain a uniformity across the table, we will define the data types. Suppose if you take Excel also, suppose in the candidate ID you have to give a number. In the name, if you are having some normal student maintaining Excel, there you will have a candidate ID, student ID, and you will have a student name and student marks. Like that we will be having, right? So for each column type, we will be defining the type. So what should be the data should be keep there. So same way, if you take SQL or if you take any other environment thing storage thing, they will have data types because so to maintain uniformity and to restrict to do some kind of validation by default, we will be using the data types. Now in the CRM also we have a similar. We have a table is a entity, right? For that entity also we want to store a different types of information. So in such scenarios we need a different types, right? Data types, right? So we have too many data types supported in the CRM. We will see one by one each. Okay. So today I'm just opening this LUT dev environment. This is a complete Power Apps model driven app. Okay. So to make any changes in this environment, I have to go to the maker portal, right? So I am going with the settings. Then I will click on the solutions. So it will be land in make.powerapps, the environment. So today I will be starting with creating an entity, new entity. Okay. So let's assume like we have a requirement like you are doing a survey from students. So for that survey, you have to create an app. You need to capture the all kind of information. Okay. So for as the best practice, I am creating a new solution here. And I'm choosing the publisher existing one. So one solution is ready. Inside this, I want to create a survey app, right? So for that one, this is complete my custom app, right? So for that one, what I will do, I have to create a new entity to store the data, whatever the survey I want to collect from the students. I want to save it in some table. So I'm creating a new table. So here we have tables, advanced properties. If you choose the advanced properties, you will be getting the all kind of options for the table you can configure like that. So here I'm making like student feedback. The entity name I'm giving the table name as a student feedback. So here I'm checking enabling this attachments and here I'm using the standard one and the feedback. I don't want to own this anyone. So I'm keeping record ownership as organization. Okay. Now I'm just enabling audit and click on save. Now what will happen whenever a table created in the Dataverse in the CRM by default you will be getting some forms, some fields, some properties, right? So all of them you can see. You see in the column section, even it is a custom entity, when you created a new custom entity, these many fields are already available by default. Okay. Like so if you see if you observe one thing for all of them has no prefix. If you create any custom entity, any custom component in the CRM, the prefix will be added, right? Even it is a custom entity, it doesn't have, these fields doesn't have a prefix, means these are the default fields created for table, any table like that. You understand, right? On a custom table, still you will have a OB fields. Now, if you want to create any new columns, you will be creating. Okay. So same way you will have relationships. For now, you don't have any relationships here. Now it's loaded C. So if you see here, based upon the type entity, these are the OB relationships created by user, duplicate record. All these are OB. So how do you identify whether a relationship is a OB or means? If you see LUT student feedback is my schema name, and the created by all these are OB entities, right? So like that you can identify whether it is a OB relationship or normal relationship. Now let's go back to forms. So what I'm by default we'll be getting these three forms, right? So now today I want to explore on the data types. So data types are nothing but for each column, each row, we are defining which field, we are defining some property by default. This has to store this value like that, right? So without these are the default fields. Now I want to create a custom field. So here you can give the display name. So I'm giving like student name. Okay, this description is optional. You can keep on doing it. Okay, and here if you see the data type, here we will be selecting the types. So what is the requirement of your business? So in what is my business need here? I want to collect the do a survey. So to survey, I want to maintain the feedback which are given by students. To store the feedback, in the feedback you will have different sections, right? So you have to capture the full name of student, you have to capture the candidate student ID of the person, and also you have to sometimes you will ask to give a kind of a descriptive info, and sometimes you will give options like yes no, like that, right? So to have a different set of information, I need to create multiple fields, right? So for the student full name I am using the single line of text. Okay, now if you see on below this data type, you have text, email, phone number, rich text area. So full name is a generic thing, right? So we want to store a normal string. So simply we will use a normal text. Now behavior we are selecting simple. We will come this to later. And I'm selecting as an optional. So what do you mean by optional? So if you have this as a business record, this field has to be filled mandatorily. So for this feedback thing, I am expecting this as a business record. Okay. Now I'm just given the rest of the thing. If you see here, maximum character count. So if you keep 100, the student full name cannot be exceeded by 100 like that. Now the next thing you have input method editor, right? So basically this will be useful for to work with Chinese, Japanese. We will have a different kind of letters will be there, right? To use them, we will be using this IME mode. So if you work with only US APAC region clients, you don't need to select this auto. You can turn it off even. Okay. I'm just created a new field. So what did I do? Just I created a new field and selected a single line of text. So in the feedback thing, next I want to capture the ID. So basically student ID will be like some assume like it's a 10-digit number. So for that scenario, I want to have only number, right? So here what I will do, I will keep number. In number also you have too many options: whole number, decimal, float, language code, duration, time zone. So what is my purpose here? I want to store the student ID, right? So here this is a number. So I will keep a whole number. Once you select the whole number, here you are having the format. As we are don't want to anything, we are going with none. And if you see in the advanced options, here you have the size of number, whether it want a normal in the normal programming language, you will have int long int, right? Same way Do you want this as a number, small number, normal number or big number? So normal number means it's a 32-bit capacity. If it is a large means it will be holding 64-bit weight. Okay. Now, as it is a student number, right? Here, I don't want to have any negative values because student numbers won't be any negative, right? So I'm just keeping 0 or maximum value like that. Okay. Any questions here? I'm just saving it. The next thing is I want to keep ask like a question like, do you want to show your information to the college? So this is kind of is like yes no, right? Yes no means it will select either you will select yes or you will no. So if you give a single line of text, some people will enter capital S, some people will enter no NO, some people enter capital N capital. So you will be giving lot of, you will be getting lot of problems, right? And can you tell me anyone? So why do we need data types in general? Why can't you have a single line of text? If you use single line of text, it will be easier, right, to write it or to maintain anything. So why do we need data types? Kalyan, Shivendra.
So based on the data types only, we have to enter the correct exact information to database. So we can retrieve
Yes.
as well.
That is one thing. Next thing, if you want, if you have any downstream, if you have any reports, if your data is in the uniform, they can make the reports. If
Yes,
your
yes.
data is in various, it's like it's not aligned with the, it's varying for each record. They can't make any uniform record, right?
So
Suppose if
for
we have,
mostly integration perspective, we have to check the data types and format kind of things.
yes, exactly. So basically, that's why we will be using data types in any system. Okay. Do you want to show your name to college? So this is a kind of there he's filling feedback, right? So here what we are doing, here we are asking like, do you want to show your name college to? So if they select yes, their name will be shown to the college. Otherwise, it will be hidden, like anonymous feedback, like that they want to have. So in these scenarios, either you have a yes option or no option, right? So in the CRM, we have this choice option. If you see yes, no, you can use this yes, no. Now, if you see here, you can customize it as well. Yes, you can show like this. Instead of a simple yes, no, you can add anything here. Suppose sometimes you have enable, disable, like agree, disagree. So that kind of thing, you can do it. Okay. So I'm just phrasing the based upon my need. So in the business app, it will be more relevant, right? So I just made these changes. Schema names will be created automatically. Then save. So what I did now, I just created few fields. Now I want to see them in the app, any app. So for that one, I'm just creating a some dummy model driven app. So in the same solution, you have apps, right? So go to this new, select this app, model driven app. So what do you mean by model driven app? You are creating a new app in the CRM, Dataverse CRM. So this is like student feedback survey something. I just given create. Now like this, it will be an empty screen because we don't, it's a custom app, we didn't add anything. Now I'm adding my entity. What is my entity? That is student feedback, right? Right now I have only one table. So I'm using this only, student feedback. So I just added to the sitemap and I'm saying my changes and publishing. So once you do the publish, it will be available in the app, right? So I can play it. I can play means I can use it in the browser. I just click on this. Now, typically, whenever you use this app, it will be like this. So I'm going to this new student feedbacks. So I want to create a new record. So I'm just clicking on it, new. So as we haven't do anything on the form, obviously it won't show anything. This is a default field. Now what I want to do, I want to edit the form, right? So where should I go? In the feedback, student feedback entity, I have to go to the forms, right? So here in the forms, go to the information. This is being used in the browser, main information form type. So here I created three data types, three fields. So let me add. So whatever the fields you created here, those are showing student full name, student ID. Do you want to show? So already I have a name field. So in such scenarios, you can use this as a some other field, or you can make it as a, suppose here student, here I create a new text field, right? Instead of the student full name text, you can reuse this. Like that, you need to plan. Okay. Now here what I'm doing for this one, I'm conducting renaming this thing as a college name. So I just want to capture the college name information as well. Let's assume they have multiple colleges. Okay. Now I want to have this student full name here in the form, and the student ID I want to have it. Then I want to have in the, do you want this? So I have added all the four fields: college name, student name, and this one. So to see these changes, what I need to do, I just need to publish, right? So to make any changes in the form, you can just drag and drop this way. So it will, you can sort it, you can placing. So I'm doing the publishing. So as I made the publishing, I just want to see the latest changes, right? So I will do a refresh. Now here I could see. So if you see for the this one, the default field it is showing as a default value, no, please avoid. Yes, you can show. And for the student field name, I made it as business required, right? So it will be giving this asterisk. Suppose if you don't want to fill this as a mandatory, you can make as optional field. Okay. So like this, we will create the fields and we will place it in the form. Let's explore the remaining fields. Now, what did I do earlier? I just went to these columns and created the fields, right? So from the form level also, you can create the fields. Go to this form. If you open this form here, you can see the new table column. From here also, it will be the same window, it will open. So here, what is my next question? It's a feedback, right? Let's assume like some branch name. So for branch name, those will be like a typical standard, but the student has to pick one of the available, right? So for that one, what I am doing, I am using the choice. Earlier I have selected only yes, no, means two options. Now I am selecting this yes choice. Here I can have multiple. So I am selecting data type as choice, behavior simple, required is optional. So I'm making this as business required or recommended this time. Let's go with recommended. Now sync with global choice. Sync with global choice means in the system already, this is a dataverse, right? You have some OB entities, right? Like account, contact. If you have customer service app, you will have incident case entity. So in that entity, if you have any option set, you can reuse it here. So if you see here, sync this option choice with. So it will show the what are the available. So for this one, I have these many. So yes, yes, no, boolean, activity type. These are the system option set. Now I don't want to go with system, so I'm using this no. Here I'm saying branches as EC, Triple CSC, IT, like that. So here I'm will be giving the options Max civil. Now we have too many like CSC plus AI, CSC plus M like that. Okay, you can have whatever you want. Now if you see whenever you want a label, if you see the values, some values are defining. Basically, whenever you create a option set, there will be two kind of things will be created. One is label value, the other one is number value. The label value will be like this text, plain text, whatever it will be visible on the form. And the number you have it, right? This will be like a backend in the server, in the database store. It will be stored with this number. Okay. Now here also you have default choice. If you want to keep any field, any branch as a default, you can keep default. Otherwise, you can ignore. So I'm just creating another field. Now I have created one more field. The next requirement is like I want to capture the student email address. Now, if I for the student email address, if I create a simple single line of text, some people will enter their name itself. Some people will enter some kind of a number. So to make it validation effective, to make it more unique across the all records, here if you see in the single line of text, you have format. Instead of a normal format, you can choose the email. So when you use this kind of email under single line of text, what will happen now? So by default, system will do the validation. Unless he enters the email, it won't save. Suppose if we enter with one, suppose if we enter with some normal text like your name, the system won't allow to save the record. So like that, the default validation will be happen at database level. So I'm selecting format as email. Here also you can control the maximum character count. No, so usually the Gmail will be like maximum 20 letters, right? Let's assume I'm just keeping the 20 letters limit here. I'm saving it. Now I created the student email ID field. Now I want to create one more field. So in this field, I want to store the college address because we are taking this for a multiple colleges right across different in the city. If you have multiple colleges, if you can use this app for collecting the feedback from various colleges and various students. So in such scenarios, you want to shoot for every college, right? So you want to capture the college address as well. So or you can have a student address. Let's have student only because student will be more unique, right? For so here student address will cannot be so if you create a normal single line of text, it won't sufficient, right? So if you see this here, you have text. In this text, you have single line of text, plain text, text area, rich text, email, phone number, ticker symbol, URL, everything, right? So as I want to have address will be like more lengthy, right? So I will be going with plain text, that is multiple line of text, and we will see how it will behave in the UI later. So here by default you are selecting 2000, but you can select up to 10,000. Okay. Suppose if you give more also it won't say like Mhm. I'm just giving 18,000 characters as a count. Now I created that field. Now I have created single line of text. Here in the text format, I have created the plain text. Now I want to have a rich text. So let's consider the scenario like you want to capture this time. You want to give a feedback like syllabus completing like as per plan, university plan, some question like that. So here, why I'm giving in the text, why I'm using the rich text means in the rich text, if you use the rich text, you can do the bold, you can do the HTML kind of feature like underscore. You can use the cross like that. Okay, let's see when let's add the field and later we will see the behavior. I am keeping this as a 1,000 characters length. See, if you say I am giving maximum 5,000, what it's saying the maximum length must be valid between 1 and 4,000. So I'm assuming like this is gonna be a feedback kind of, right? So user can enter whatever they want. So I'm keeping 4,000, the maximum limit. Now the next question is like, what are the left out? Email we are done. Then phone number. Let's have a student phone number. So in the single line of text, you have to select the format as phone number. Then behavior is simple. In the advanced options, if you want to keep maximum character count. Usually 12 numbers, digit will be, for India, we will have 12 numbers, right? So we are maintaining the 12. So he can enter up to 12. Next, the column, single line of text, email, phone number, ticker symbol. So basically this ticker symbol will be used for show the any like dollar symbol will have different symbol, right? Such things you will be using. Now here you have a URL, right? So basically for this URL will be like if you give anything, it will work as a hyperlink in the CRM form. Let's assume like college address text and using URL. Now I have to create one more field for the ticker. So if we create a ticker symbol field, we'll be covering with all, right? So let's name like let's assume like a college symbol or something. So now what I did, I just created the all kinds of fields in a single from a text format. So now I want to place it in the form. So whenever you want to place it in the form, if you keep directly, let's add and show you. So I'm just selecting this branch name, college address, college symbol, student address, student email. Now, whenever you're adding the fields like a Excel row, it won't be that much user friendly or that much more organized, right? So basically, in that place, we will be using the tabs, sections. Okay. Now, for now, what I did, I just kept the every field on a single tab in general. Suppose if you use same way, suppose if you have to you create a feedback, right? Suppose if you have more 20 more fields, if you keep in everything, like it will be like not readable, it's not organized, right? So in that scenarios, to make it more effective in the user representation, we will be using the tabs and sections. Now by default we have single tab, right? But I can create a multiple tabs, I can organize this data. So what I will do for this one, I will be creating a new two tab component. Now if you see here, like this, I will be selecting a two column tab. In that, I am first naming the like a basic info. So here I am just creating the tab and new section. In this section, I want to have a college info, like basic information about college. Okay. And this side, I want to have a student info, the basic minimal information from student. I'm not going to add any survey related question. Now I have too many fields from here and there, right? So you can just move them these two here. College name. Then what is the college information field we have? syllabus, college address we have. Now student ID. So I want to move this to here. And student full name. I want to move this to here. Then do you want to show your college name? So this is also, let's have this in another tab. So this is more about survey, right? So I will keep it in a separate form, separate tab. So this time I'm creating a new tab, one column tab. Okay. You have to go to columns, click on a column like survey one, like survey form one, let's assume. So here as a preliminary question, I'm asking like, do you want to show that your name to college? So I'm just keeping here. Here you can say like, here also you can make section name like basic survey. You can name whatever you want. And next here branch name. This is also student info, right? So I'm going to here. So college symbol. This is more about college. So I'm keeping here. Student address I'm keeping under student. So like this, you can organize the sections. Why we do need to organize means in the real time Vinas, obviously for the everyone will be working for the end user perspective, right? So to make it easier for them, to make it more effective, we will be doing this all kind of customization. So whatever the change you are making in the CRM system, we will be using the form. Okay. So what I did, I just removed everything in the general, so I can delete this. So how do you delete? You just select this form tab. Here you click on the delete. So my first tab will be basic. The next tab will be like survey form one. So I made some changes. Now I want to see this in the UI. So let's hold on until it publish. So it is just published, right? Now I'm just refreshing my web app, model driven app. You can say whatever you want, or you can say CRM. All are same. Now if you see, this is let's assume like I'm creating a new record. So earlier from the earlier case, now the form rendering will be different, right? Like this, it will be like more unique. So I'm giving college name, address, Ibrahim Bagh, Golconda. So now see, once I give the college address, actually I have the college site address, I just confused. So here, whenever I enter the value, it is showing the website symbol because this college address is a URL field. So what should I give? I should give the college address, right? So whatever you give, it is appending the HTTPs. So my college address is this one, bc.ec.in. So as you are defining as a URL, you will get this web symbol. Whenever you click on this one, it will open in a new tab. That's the main intention of URL data type in the CRM. So you can configure, you can store the URLs in the CRM and it will open like this. Okay. Now the college symbol. Here, see what I said, provide a stock symbol. So basically, if you want to store any symbols, so in that scenarios, you will be using this college symbol field. Okay. Now let's coming back to student ID. Provide a number. Suppose if user enter something. So if you see here, student ID should be like this. So like this, you can do the preliminary validations. So as I selected student ID as number, it will take only numbers. So I'm just giving main full name. Okay. Here branch. So as I selected, this is an option set, right? Now here see ECE, triple E, everything it is showing. Now if you see for the student now full name we have given as a mandatory. So you have this red color asterisk. For the branch name, you have selected business recommended. So it is showing in a blue color star. Like if you want, you can enter. If you don't want, you can like that. It's like an optional. Now student address I am giving as Hyderabad. Now if you see, this is also one text field. This is also one text field. For this text field, you have a space, right? Multiple lines. So that's the difference. This is a single line of text. This is a multiple line of text. Okay. Now here student email. For the student email, as I selected the email type, it will support only email. Suppose if you simply give name and exclude, it will like it's not a valid. So you have to give a proper, whether it is a Gmail or anything, you have to give proper. Then only it will allow you to save. Phone number. So phone number also save. If you give any text, so basically here it is giving the phone symbol, but here number sometimes you will have the some hyperlinks to make calls, right? So it will allow the normal text as well. Okay, but if you see for the email symbol, you got this email and phone number symbol, phone number field, you got this phone number. So when you click on this phone number, if you have a phone app for your D365 CRM, it will open like this. Okay, so that's the main intention of the symbols: website, email, phone number. Any questions in these fields? Hare Krishna, Sai Krishna, Shivendra, Ashok.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's go back to the next tab. So here this was discussed earlier. This is a two option. Now here, so in this text field, this is a multi-line of text, but if you make bold also, you can't make it bold. But here in this area, if you want to keep anything, no lecturers are not following the plan. Now you want to highlight something. So as this is a rich text means you can make quotations, you can make bold, you can add colors like that. So here you can make red like this. This is the rich text feature. So whereas this normal text, it will be like a plain text. You can't make any UI changes. So whatever you enter, it will be like a simple text. But here here you can do whatever one. Here I can make this bold. Okay. Like this, you can use of underscore, you can use the strike through, same like normal Word document, you will have all the changes, right? Everything you can make it. So that's the difference between rich text and plain text. Okay. Now let's go back to the fields. So far we created how many types? We have explored on the single line of text, right? Now let's go to the other. So for the whole number also we created. Now you have decimal, float. So in general, if you want to measure anything, suppose if you want to measure the distance, so we will be using the points and floats, right, to measure anything in the like quantity purpose. So whole number will be like a integers. It will be like 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. But if you want to make it in the fractional values, you will be using float and decimal. So decimal and float will be the serve the same purpose. The difference between them is a precision. Okay. Now let me like distance to your home. So why I'm using distance to your home? So they can enter the kms. Here I'm putting bracket like in kilometers. So they can fill the distance. What is the distance from their home? Now here, as it won't be distance won't be negative, right? So I'm keeping 0. And this is also I'm assuming like keeping 500 only across or 1000. Only assuming like normal college. For that no outside will come, right? So let's assume creating 1000. Now decimal places. Now for this one, like how many fractions you want. So if you have one decimal means 1.1. If you have two decimals means 1.0.1. Like that you can configure here. So for the distance, mostly we will be keeping 0.1, right? So I'm just keeping 0.2 till, okay, 0.1 or 0.2. I'm saving. Now I will create one more what is that? Decimal field. So have the to store the percentile. So percentile is something crucial for students, right? So let's have aggregate. So here in single line of text number, sorry, single line of number, and I'm selecting the float. Now here also aggregate won't be negative. Here also you can configure the say. Here also you can configure, but let here I'm giving the 5. So the main difference between the decimal and float is like the purpose of precision. So that's the main difference. Okay. Any confusions here? I'm just creating minimum max value. Max value will be like 100. We can't have more than 100%, right? So let's give the max value. Creating save. So this also let's assume like it's come under student. So I'm just keeping here in the student section. So now thing is, if you see the college info is short, student info is big. Now, if you want to have this more thing, you can again you can create one more tab. You can reorganize it. So for that scenarios, again you have to go to components. Here you have two column sections, right? So you have a three column tab in the layout. If you expand, you have a three column tab. So if you use three column tab, what will happen? Right now you have only two column tabs, right? So here you can have a three column this way. You can want to like that. So here I'm just moving this entire college info to here. I'm deleting the default one. Again, I'm moving this student info to there in this one. Here I don't want, so these are more related about aggregate and some like suppose personally here also student, the email address, phone number, those are like personal, right? So I want to have a separate section for them. So you can have like that. So in one tab, you can have multiple sections. Okay, so I'm keeping the student email here, keeping student number and student address also comes personal. So distance to kilometer. So like this, you can play with the UI. So however you want to see. So now if you see this one, this is like more simple way, right? Compared to this one. Here, this is one big, this is one small. So like that, whenever you are working on any development form, you need to consider the end user comfort because we are working for them only, right? So like this, you have to keep changes accordingly. So basically, this kind of suggestions they will be the tech arc will be given in the initial discussion only. So they will precisely say, I need the form like this, like that. They will give you the layouts, everything. Okay. Now we are done. So next thing I want to have. Stay. I'm just doing saving only. I'm not publishing app because I want to create some other fields. So let's go back to here. Now I want to go to form, or you can come from here. Anywhere you can create the tab, columns. Any questions so far, Rizwan? Hare Krishna.
No, bro.
Now I'm creating few more fields before making publish. So here we cover text. In the text also we have different. So we have used everything. In number also we have tried whole number, decimal, duration. So basically duration will be like let's assume like it will calculate the time difference. Duration will be it's a time difference, right? Let's assuming like daily traveling time from residence or stay. because here some people may stay in hostel, some people may stay in, right? So that's why I'm just keeping residents or stay. So for every field, you will have some advanced options. Here we don't have anything, just selecting. Then the next field I want to explore under number, you have time zone. So let's assume like here, usually if we are considering college for a particular location, right? So there will be any time zone. Suppose if you want, if you are dealing with multi-region people, you have to capture the time zone also. In that situation, this will be useful. Time zone of college. Let's assume like this app will use for across globe. So I'm just giving time zone of college. So whole number, time zone, time zone. Don't have any advanced options. Selecting yes. So this time zone of college, I want to keep it in time zone. And daily traveling time, I'm keeping under student. Or you can keep below as well, no issues. Next time, want to create the remaining fields. Here, date time. So suppose you want to capture the date of birth of the student. So in normal any application, you want to store date, right? Student DOB. So here we have to select DOB, date time. And here we have simple, exceptional. And if you see time zone adjustment, user local means, suppose if you enter 29.8 for some, for other people, it will be like for US people, they are lagging behind, right? For them, it may be 28. So if you enter user local, so for me, it will show 29. For US people, it will be show 28. Like that, it will convert automatically if you select the user local. Okay. But if you select time zone independent, so it means if you store 29, it will be show 29 across everyone. Getting? So this conversion, if you use user local, for me it has to 29. For US people, it has to 28, right? That will be taken by the system. You don't need to do anything. So that is the benefit of this user local and time zone independent. If you use time zone independent, it won't do any changes. It's like a hard coded value. Okay, now I just created DOB and date of birth, right? So I'm just keeping under personal info. Now I'm selecting one more type. So here lookup. So now the scenario is like you are having everything in a one rig. You are having every data in the same field, right? Suppose if you want to have the related table for the student. So here you are giving student. For the student information, you are creating each field in this only. But if you want to have separate table for student and you want to link that student table to here, in such scenarios, we will be using this option set field. For now, let's don't create any option set field. At the end, we will be creating. Okay. Now that then is we have covered choice is no. Then we have currency. So let's assume it like bill college fee. So basically college will be you want to save in currency, right? One second. So for that scenarios, we will be using the currency. In the currency also, we will be having the minimum. We can control the minimum value, maximum value, and currency precision. So till how many values you want to have precision. Now if you see here, precision property, precision, decimal precision, everything you have. We will once I will add the property, we will be showing. Okay. For decimal place, as we are using Indian, I just selecting two. and creating save. So let's add this college fee here in the basic survey. Then we will go with other fields. Single and auto number. Suppose now this auto number will be used for to generating any number automatically. So like I want to have feedback number. So whenever I create this record, this number will be generated. Now here string prefix, date prefix custom. So it means auto number you can configure if you use string prefix like stu student. For everything it will be like stu 101 like this. Okay. Seed value means the starting value. If you keep 0, it will be starting with 0. The 4 digits means it is ranging from 0 to 5. 0 to 4 digits. 5 digits means 5. And if you see date prefix, like date, today's date. Suppose whenever you go to any medical shop, they will be generating some unique number for every bill, right? Like this. So we can use. Now we have custom. Suppose if you want to have combination of both. So in such scenarios, we can use like this. So if you see here, date time UTC plus sequence number like this. So this is combination of both, right? Now if you want to have anything, you can have configure add sequence number to format, add date time to format. So like this, you can you can generate the numbers. Okay, now let's create one string prefix. Let's assume like stu feed student feedback survey. So like this, it will be created. So I'm assuming I want to have yes, 0 to 5 digits. So I can go like this. So whenever record is created, this number will be filled. So this one I want to have on the survey form on in. So I'm having on top. Now the next field we are going to see file. Now suppose user want to upload any file. In such scenarios, if it is a all types of formats, you will be using file. If it is only image, you have to choose this one. So if you use file, he can upload the image, he can upload a video, he can upload anything. Suppose if you want to have only image, you have to choose the image like student image or student profile photo. You can give whatever you want. We are just giving this one primary image, selecting size, maximum image size can be, you can control here, selecting. So do we have any leftover fields? We covered all right. Now this formula prompt, this prompt is recently added. This also I will explain at the end. Now what I did, I just added what was the student profile photo. That also I will add to the basic form, basic info here in the personal info. So added all the changes. Now I'm saving publish. So here I just use two tabs only. One is basic info, survey form one. Suppose if you want to have more details, if you want to capture more things, you can have survey form 1, survey form 2 as a tabs. You can use it in the as a tabs here in the UI. Now if you see, as I selected the basic info as a 3-section form, it is showing as a 3 sections. In the survey form, it is a single section. So like this, in the UI, it will be, you can control whether you want to have a single info, single section info, double section, or like this. Okay. Now feedback number. If you see this record is already created, that's why it's not generating. Let me create one more record. Now this is college address, right? Yes, sorry, you. I don't. Time zone will be like IST. So if you add the time zone, you will be select. You can select the like this. What is the time zone? And student ID. I'm just giving 2 3. Full name I'm giving same. Branch selecting something else. So here if you see daily traveling time from the residence. So I have selected the duration, right? So if you select the duration, you can select like this 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Like this, it will you can select. Okay. Now here student mail, I have to keep like this in the format. So if you, it won't validate anything, it has to check only for at the rate and dot in. But is it valid? No, right? So but it will do an initial validation. So this record has, if you see student profile photo, this is a image type, right? Once you create a file on, once you create the record only, you can upload an image. Phone number also you can give anything. Now DOB. So we have added the calendar time date field, right? So like this you can select. Okay. I'm just selecting this way. So here also if you want to have only time, now you don't require date. So in such scenarios, you need to choose the only time field. Here date time. Instead of date time, you can see date only. If you use that field, you can store only date. Student address, you can give whatever you want, multiple length. Distance to your home. Here I have selected this as a decimal, right? So as I given a 2 digit decimal, automatically it will carry up to 2 digits. So 12 to 3 also if you store, it will be take. Suppose if we give 234, it will be round off. So that is the purpose of precision, decimal precision. Now aggregate purpose, what we said, we have given 100. Okay. Now for this aggregate also I have used float, but I have selected the two decimals only. Suppose if you want to have 5 decimals, you can control. So if you want to have more precision, you will be using this. How many points you will need after the decimal point, you will be deciding. Okay. Now feedback number I haven't saved. This is the default value. And syllabus as per the message, this is a rich text. You can select whatever you want. You can highlight it, include anything. And college fee, this is the current field, right? Suppose I am filling like this one. So this is also we have selected the 2 decimal precision for currency as it is a Indian. And if you see the symbol, the rupee symbol came automatically. Why? Because whatever the environment I have using here, that is the India region. So by default, it will be apply Indian currency symbol. Suppose if you want to work, suppose your organization is some US company or some other Europe, if you want to have euro or dollar, you have to choose while creating the entity. Later also you can select that we will discuss in the upcoming sessions. Okay, any questions so far? Now, if you see that number is not generated, but now I'm saving the record. So like this, it is selected. Suppose if I create one more record, if I give the basic details, this one, the mandatory fields, and I'm giving this. Now it got automatically incremented. So like this, you can have a auto number. So this is the purpose of auto number. It won't apply for already created records. If you see the first record we created now, this one. For this one, do you have this info? No, because this field is created later. So like this, so whenever you create a field later before the record means that will have blank because you are creating a column view, right? For the upcoming records, you will fill the data. For the previous records, you won't fill the data, right? That's why it's blank. The same way for the auto number also, it won't apply for old records. Any questions here? This one,
One question.
no questions.
above the tabs, um,
Here,
this area, the above form assist,
here.
can we work on this area, the empty areas above, right side. Yeah, yeah. The form
Yeah.
assist,
This
exactly.
one.
This
This
area.
is a copilot. This we will discuss later in the copilot. These are like so drop file smart paste or copilot make suggestions. So suppose if we have your data in some notepad or Excel, if you fill that here, if you paste that here, automatically it will try to fill the data. That is the form assist. So assist means it will help you. So instead of filling manually, if you want to select anything automatically from, so that way, if you might observe for the credit card payment anything, you can take a capture automatically. It is filling the card number and the CVV everything, right? Same way, if you have that data in any Excel or Notepad, you can fill that here in the this Copilot thing. It will try to fill the. It will try to map the records data.
We
Okay,
can't work on this that above the empty area.
which one?
This exactly the name of the college.
This one. Good
Right
question.
here, right here.
Yes, good question. Why? Because so this college name is a default field. I named it as a college name, right? That's why you are getting it is showing there. Suppose if you modify anything here, that also change. So like this, you have to observe everything. Why you are having passive color of engineering top? Why you are having it? Because whatever the name, this is the default field by have. If you remember, while creating the field, I just renamed it. I didn't create this college name field. I just renamed it. If you see the schema name of this field, it will be like normal name field only. It doesn't have any prefix. It has prefix, but this is a default field. Okay,
Yeah.
this I haven't created. This is came by default. That's why you have it's suppose if you don't want to have this, suppose if you want to have student full name, you can't make that change. So whatever you are the LUT name now, whatever you are having there, it will be shown. Suppose here I'm making optional this college name. So that will be become optional. Suppose if you keep it blank, the record this will be also blank. Let me show you. Good question, this one. So that level we have to observe. Okay, it's not about simply listening the class. So I just made it optional. Publishing. Now if we see once we save the record, we are able to see the file name. Earlier it was not. Now you can choose the photo. So the type. Okay. As I have selected the file type, you can select any type. Is it done? No. I'm just refreshing. Now college name is not a mandatory. I'm just removing it, saving it. So what will happen? This will go like this. So whatever the you are keeping in the name, the default field, that will be the name for the record. Getting? So as it doesn't have anything here, it is giving the entity name, student feedback, new student feedback. I hope everyone got it. Any questions here? Okay. Now, so what we did now, so for every info, we created a field. But in the real time, no one works with a single entity, right? They will have related tables. They will have a lot. So for each information, they will try to keep in a separate table. and they will hand it some, in some scenarios they will have a master data. So in that purpose, whenever they create multiple tables to link the records, so they will be using the this lookup field. Now if you see here, I'm just creating one more table before creating a lookup field. So in our scenarios, I'm just giving every student information here, right? So I don't want to have it here heavy. I want to maintain student information separately. So what I will do, I will create a new table, whereas that is the student. So I'm creating a new table with advanced properties like student selecting standard. This is also I'm making organization audit changes selecting yes. So what I will do now, I'm creating a new entity, right? So I will use that entity to represent all student information. So I can erase this entire section, right? I can simply keep student. So in that student, I will refer the student entity record. So I can use normally. So let's do that. So I created a student. So here columns also, I want to repeat. So let's try to use this. So here I'm creating again all columns. Here what I will do, for that I will use the college name, right? Here if you see, this is the default field. I'm saying primary name column. So whatever you have this college name for that our feedback entity, here you are having one name. This is, I'm renaming it as a student name. So whatever you have it in the in this value, that will be show here in the top. So for every entity, you will have one field like that. Student name, business required, you want to change it. That's not a problem. Now I'm just giving one two fields like student email, selecting single line of text, email. So I will be, I need to add these fields to the form, right? So I'm going to the forms, main form, and we will be adding student email to the this. Okay, now I'm just doing save and publish. So now tell me, I just created entity, but I want to see it here. So how it will work? So suppose I want to see it in the sitemap. So we discussed this, right? Whenever you want to make any changes to the app sitemap, where do you go? You have to go to this app you created, this one. You have to open this. Here you have to add pages. So I added already student feedback. Now I want to add one more. What is that my page? That is the entity records, right? So I'm just adding our table entity and I will be selecting student. Actually, someone else created student already. So mine is student. I just made the changes. I just want to publish the app and playing it. So playing means it will open in a browser. Now tell me. So I have student feedback separately. Suppose let's assume like you are having the information will be constant, right? So suppose let's consider that is a master data. Let me refresh this. So the student name, full name, everything you can get from the student. Now you are only capturing student feedback. So in such scenarios, I have to have the student data ready, right? So we are creating student data manually, let's assume. Okay, so like this I am creating. Now, till now, we are having this, right? So do we have any relationship between student feedback and student entities? Do we have anything? No, right? Now what I'm expecting, so here instead of student feedback, this all columns, I want to refer the single column that has to refer the student entity. So in such scenarios, we will be using the lookup field. So let's go back to feedback table, go to columns, creating new column, and now you are selecting the lookup. Now here I want to create for student, right? So let's give the name, say student. Here if you see related table, whenever you select data type, it is coming related table. So it means lookup will help us to link another table with the current record. So here I want to have to choose student, right? So you can scroll like this, or you can simply keep search. You can search here, student is mine. I'm selecting student. Here, if you see, whenever you are selecting related table, here it is showing the relationships default, by default it is creating, and this is creating. This is a lookup field schema. So what do you mean? Whenever you are creating a lookup field, automatically a relationship will be created. So what is the relationship? That it will be like 1:n will be created. Okay. Now I want to have this on the form now. Go back to information. So now what I will do, I don't want this entire scrap or entire student information. I will have just student information here, and I will refer the other table if I want any more particular detail. So in such scenarios, you will be using this student, right? Lookup. If you see the symbol itself, it's like a searching. So I'm just deleting this student info section, or let me create one normal tab because we have created three tabs, right? So here I'm just moving this college info to here, and here I am deleting this student name, this one, everything. I don't want this all junk. So here what I will do, I will add the my form field, this one. I'm just keeping the student here instead of college info. I'm just renaming as a general info because I am having both, right? So that should be more precise label. So now here I don't want this, right? So I can delete. So how do we delete? There is a delete option. So this has mandatory field, right? That's why you are unable to delete it. So let's delete the field first. Edit label. Make it this as a optional. Now if you see, now you are getting delete option because as this field is a mandatory for the table, you are not it's not allowing to delete. Now I made it optional. Now I'm able to delete it. Now I have this new tab. For this new tab, I'm giving like general, and I'm publishing my changes. Any questions? I'm going speed. Shivendra, are you understanding?
Yes, Harish.
So this way we will create the field whatever you want based on your business need. So if you do a development from scratch, like from the basic app creation, you will be creating field, you will be defining data type, you will be defining all properties. So that's the where it's like a fundamental, it's like a laying down the plan, floor plan kind of for apps, creating apps. So I just refreshing this. Now here see, now I got a normal. Here if you see, here you can select the student table records. So means with the lookup field, you can refer the other table records. So this is my student lookup, right? So I can refer student. Now in this, in this column, I have this student table. Suppose if you want to have any extra information, you can go to this record. In this record, you will have the all student information. Because instead of maintaining the survey feedback in record everything like college name, student name, everything, you can have a related table and you can maintain the related information in the related table. Because this is not primary. Our what is our primary agenda? To take the feedback, right? To take the student information is not our primary agenda, right? So that's why we will be creating multiple tables, multiple fields for any system. Any questions? So here we have covered everything, I hope. If you see on the lookup also, we have customer. This customer is nothing but a default type in the CRM. If you select customer, you can select account, you can select the contact like that. So whenever you are working for OB modules, you will be using this customer. For but custom modules, you don't need this. Custom module means custom model driven apps. Okay. Now the last thing I was asking, right? Formula and prompt preview. Now this is means if you want to have any formula, you can define here, but this won't recommended because this will be using another entity. This has to use another entity information, everything. Okay. And whatever this prompt preview I was saying, right? Here you can give a prompt. So let's give like this, classify the student feedback is one to one of characteristics. So it will use this chat GPT models and it will give you the response. Okay. So let's create a like feedback summary on syllabus. So I'm selecting prompt. Here I'm selecting new prompt. Uh, just save the record. Enable. Okay, we have to give prompt only first. So what I want to do now, here classify I want to use a ChatGPT or kind of LLM models. Here what I will do, classify the student feedback. We have one thing, right? What is that? Syllabus thing we have an ask one question. Syllabus as per university. Syllabus as per university plan. Let me select this add. So classify the syllabus as per into one of these like good, bad, average. So I'm just keeping only three options here. Analyze the key themes, context of the provided question, classify the most appropriate category from the list of the categories, take into one to consideration in this category. This is not random. This is a given OB. So it should be a single output. Okay, let's like I'm using like this. So I'm just saving this. So I created a new field means I have to add it a new form, right? So let's add it. So once I added the prompt, it is allowing me to save. I'm just saving. So I'm adding here feedback summary as per plan. Is it added? decided. I'm just making changes. So in this, I am using feedback. This is just looking like a normal text. Let me show it in the UI. But it will use the LLM models. In the LLM models, we have referred other form, right? Now if you see here, this is blank right now. Yes, they are following as per university. So let me save this. So what will happen whenever they are filled? So we are getting this error. Like this actually yesterday also I was getting this error. So what will happen whenever you use like this? It will update the here like good or bad. Let me show it in another app. Suppose if you give negative, it will update the negative. We have given three options, right? Let me show it in another app. So I was exploring this week only. So in this ticket app, you have this one. So customer feedback. I am happy to share the feedback issues addressed quickly. This positive is automatically coming based upon my prompt field because this is also on prompt field. Okay. So whenever you use prompt field, that will be using automatically. Here also we are getting error actually. Some out of the box issue. See exception prompt column. So whenever you are using prompt column, it will be automatically applying LLM models and will give you the output. Okay. So far we created this many fields. So today I will be giving one assignment. So for everyone, they have to create their own table, their own fields in their own environment. Satish, you were not there. Yesterday we created multiple environments. Okay, for each user, I have given one environment. So just log into your admin power platform. So here you will see the environments like Shivendra, Cycle and Ashok. So log into your respective environments and do the assignment, whatever the assignment given for today. Okay. So here in this columns thing, one thing is pending. So whatever we have seen data type and format, we have behavior, right? This we will be covering in the what do you mean by simple, what do you mean by calculated. So whatever the fields we created today, those are all simple. So what do you mean by calculated? This we will be seeing in the next class. Okay, any questions? Chalo. Thank you. I thought of covering that as well, but it's already 1.5 hours. Okay then. Thank you all.
Thank you.